All right, new comments from the Artemis 2 astronauts on whether they think space aliens exist.
When we think about the universe, and I was talking to you before, every star you see is in our galaxy, the Milky Way. But then we think there's maybe a couple of trillion other galaxies out there. So it's pretty hard to fathom that there's not alien life out there.
With us now, CNN Chief Data Analyst Harry Enten. When it comes to belief in life out there, how many people believe there is?
You know, if you had told me a decade ago, I'd be standing here with Johnny Berman yesterday talking about ballrooms and today talking about aliens. The only thing I could say is to quote the great Bill Murray, this is one nutty hospital. But, you know, the fact is, Americans who believe in aliens, it's up like a rocket. In 1997, it was 49%. By the beginning of this decade, look at this, 66%. 2 in 3 Americans actually do believe that there's life out there, that they're aliens. So those Artemis astronauts, they're not alone.
It's really interesting that it's growing there. I think that might be the most interesting thing in this. What about people who say that, you know, not only are they out there, but they're going to give us a call?
Yeah, you know, my number, I am not going to reveal on air to you, aliens, but I will say this. Look, have humans had contacts with aliens? I think the most interesting thing here is 7% of Americans think that we already have. I wonder if they look like this fellow up here. I think he's quite good looking there. But then we got another 39% who believe that we will. But then you get it basically a 50-50 split, right? Because 49% say we'll never have contact with the aliens. So you basically get about 50% who say we have or we will, and then another 50% who say we won't ever have contact with them. But, you know, I got to be honest. I think a conversation with an alien would be pretty gosh darn cool.
I mean, the 7% who say we have is pretty interesting here. How many sort of unexplained sightings are there?
Yeah. And I would just note, John, if you are a member of this 7%, you really should tell me about it because I'm quite interested to see whether or not they know whether the Bills will win a Super Bowl next year. But look at this. UFO sightings that go unexplained by the U.S. government. Look, 2 to 5% of UFO sightings actually go unexplained. So, you know what? Who knows? Maybe the X-Files was onto something.
Or there are a lot of flashlights and drones out there.
You know, John is...
Okay, what are the odds? I mean, people are making predictions on this. What are the people saying about whether or not the government will just flat out announce, hey, they're out there?
Yeah. I think John, expressed some skepticism at the beginning of this segment, maybe that they would do so. Look, chance that the U.S. executive branch actually confirms that aliens exist by the end of this year is 26%. Hey, that's not nothing. That's 1 in 4. That's not nutter butter, but probably not when it comes to aliens. They probably won't. That's at least according to the cash prediction market where the people who are putting their money with their mouth is. But you know what? If I was putting money out on the line, I would say, hey, you know what? There's got to be something out there, right? Maybe?
I don't
Possibly?
know. I will tell you this. If it does turn out there is alien life, it is confirmed, we will bring it to you live when it happens.